Let's take a look at how we can leverage the power of USD and sublayering to work non-destructively inside of Solaris. So as always, this project file will be available on Patreon, so if you want to grab it, you can do so on there. I'm also going to be using a 3D scan from 3dscans.com, so if you want to grab that, it's available on their website. It's free, and you can grab a bunch of other scans on there as well if you'd like. But this is a really cool method to work non-destructively inside of Solaris. So let's go ahead and drop down a SOP create, and we can start to take a look at how we do this. So I'm going to bring in that file node and bring in that 3D scan. Just going to paste in the path there. So this is the Tennyson bust, and it comes in kind of flipped here. So we're going to drop down a transform, and we'll do -1 on the uniform scale. Then I'm just going to drop down a match size just to center this. I'm actually going to set to min in the justify Y. And I'm also going to just drop down a remesh, a quad remesh. So this is somewhat new to Houdini, but it works really, really well. So we'll drop that down. I'm actually going to cancel that, and I'm going to up the polygon count here. So we'll set it to like maybe 300,000 quads. And we take a look at our remeshed mesh. It looks a lot better inside of the detail here. So we'd get rid of some of the issues that we have, and the mesh isn't that big of a deal right now. This is just what I'm going to use kind of as a demonstration here. So let's go ahead and drop down a name here. So for this, I'm going to do /geo /bust. So we're going to jump out to our stage context here. Now we can see that we placed this mesh under this geo little container here, and we have it named the bust. So that's important. And we are going to utilize a sublayer. So we'll wire this into our sublayer. And this allows us to basically layer things on top of this. So I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate of this just to kind of show what we're going to be doing. But in this second one, I'm going to add some animation that we're going to then layer on top of this geo, and it's going to kind of just add the animation to our object here. So let's dive inside. I'm going to drop down a point, if I can type a point bop, and we're just going to add some animation to the surface. I'm going to drop down a displace along normal, and we'll wire this up, and we'll pipe that position into our position. And then for the amount, we're going to use an AA noise. Wire this in here. We're going to wire that amount, or the noise, into the amount, and I'm just going to go ahead and promote the frequency as well as the offset and the amplitude here, so we don't have to dive inside here to change anything. I'm going to set the frequency up pretty high here. And I'm going to turn down our amplitude quite a bit. So just to give us something that's noticeable on our mesh, maybe I'm going to turn down our frequency a little bit there. Maybe turn up our amplitude. I don't want to displace it too much. We'll leave it kind of like this so that we can tell that we have some sort of a difference going on. So the important thing to note here, if I jump back up to our stage, you can see that we haven't changed the name of our bust, or where our geo is being stored at. So that's going to be important because it's looking for the exact same thing inside of your layer tree. So let's actually come back to this, and for the offset, I'm going to just copy this parameter, and I'm going to paste the relative references into both of these, and I'm going to set this to be $FF divided by 100, just so that when I play this, we have some noise that's moving along. Let's maybe actually set this to be like 50, so it's twice as fast. So we have some noise that's moving along our geometry here. You can tell that we're displacing this. Now, normally you would, add some animation or whatever you would want on top of your mesh, and then we can wire this into our sublayer here. So now if I take a look, so actually before I do that, if I take a look at our sublayer, see that we just have our mesh here, just like we have right here. So nothing has changed, but as soon as we wire in this SOP create here, as long as everything is the same, you can see that this is now applied to our mesh. So I can press play now, and you can see that we have our animation being layered on top of this, which is really, really cool. And it allows you to kind of work non-destructively. This is kind of how they work inside of studios. Now, they wouldn't necessarily have, two SOP creates where they're doing this sort of a thing, but they'd have, one department that's working on animation. So they'd have their just like T-posed mesh, and then they would have some animation that they're wiring into this sublayer and layering that on top. And we can do more than just, apply animation to our mesh here. We can also do materials. So in order to do this, we're going to use our same SOP create here. I'm going to wire that into a layer break. So we'll wire that up. And all this does is it's going to basically take this input and it's going to allow you to work on the geo, but it's not going to allow anything to pass through other than what you wire in after this. So we'll take this layer break. We're going to wire in a material library. Let's dive inside. Let's drop down a material builder. And we're just going to set this to something, really obvious. So we'll do this like purplish color. Just going to up the roughness here as well. And I can come in and autofill our materials. Now, normally I work with material linkers. I really like the way that they work, but for this, we just have one mesh here. So I'm just gonna assign our geometry path like this. And if I look at our material library now, you can see that we have this being applied to our geo in the SOP create. Now, we want to layer this back on top of what we have inside of our sublayer here. So if I take our sublayer, I wire this up. You can see, again, we have our geo that's being displaced here. And if I go ahead and wire in our material library here, now we have our material library being applied on top of our bust, which is super, super cool. So we can come in here and we could change this to whatever we wanted. If we wanted to change it to green, and it's all being just layered on top of our sublayer from before. So it's a really non-destructive way of working. You can do this with all sorts of things. And if you have a lot of things like stored on disk maybe, and you just want to be able to control their materials, their work non-destructively, we can layer on top of things and, test it out different looks and kind of work in this manner without, breaking anything or without having to switch a bunch of things back. It's just a really non-destructive way of working that I thought was super cool and I wanted to share with you. Now, the reason I put in this layer break, if I go ahead and come back here and I just bypass this, you see that we are actually layering on top of this. So it's taking in the geo from this and it's going to apply the material of that, and then it's going to layer on top of that. That's just kind of how USD works. If we jump over to this scene graph layers, you can see we have our layers here. So each node has the different layers, and you can see kind of what's happening. And the way that this works in a very simplified way is if we take a look at our sublayer, we have this composition. So we have different positions that are going to be on each layer, and that's going to kind of decide how things work. So you see if I change this to weakest position, that's going to change what we get with our mesh here. So just keep that in mind. If you want to learn more about USD, there's some resources online. You can check the documentation and different things like that, but I'm not going to go into any more detail with that because I'm not super confident in my knowledge of USD. I just found this out and decided that it was something that I wanted to kind of share with everyone in case you guys aren't aware. So let's add that layer break back in. And again, we have our non-destructive way of working, which is super, super cool. So anyways, hopefully this has helped you out. Like I said, it allows you to work non-destructively and just, work off of your disk, apply different materials and things in a manner that's not going to overwrite anything, and you don't have to like hard code things in. You can really work in a really, really cool way. So utilize this if it's something that you find useful. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching and have a good day.